A noblewoman's publicly thrown out of the ball. The reasons? It's 1930s London. The annual Field Ball's starting. It's the British aristocracy's renowned social gathering. Guests are mostly royalty from across the UK and the entire European aristocracy. All are influential socialites. The Granthams, who run Downton Abbey as the king's relatives, are always regular guests. But this year, as the ball started, the hostess seriously found Mary. She saw Mary's divorce in the papers. Grantham wanted to object, but Mary said, Mary's husband's been abroad for years. She couldn't bear this loneliness alone. It's because in high society, divorce is seen as deeply shameful, especially for women. Worse than death, and harms the entire family. She planned to wait a bit for the divorce judgment, then tell the family. But paparazzi's noses were so keen, they preemptively leaked it to the papers. Though it was momentarily awkward, Mary kept her composure and dignity. She knew high society's rules. She offered no excuses, just calmly left. Robert and Cora, they'd wanted to leave with their daughter to protest the host's rudeness. But Mary persuaded her parents to stay. Mary's strong-willed, takes responsibility for her choices. She didn't want her choices to implicate the family. The moment she chose, she prepared to face consequences. Luckily, Mary's father, Robert, and mother, Cora, are open-minded people. They understood her choice, encouraged her to look forward. After the ball, Robert and Cora went home. Mary stayed in London to handle other matters. From bustling London back to quiet Downton Abbey, the two finally found temporary peace. But the estate wasn't truly peaceful. Regarding Mary's divorce, most inside the estate felt sympathy and understanding. They'd known Miss Mary for years, knew her character. But local residents' views weren't so gentle, influenced by the era's beliefs. Most still saw divorced women as unacceptable. After Mary's divorce news spread, the estate's visitors decreased sharply. Even many old friends stopped visiting. Though Mary tried to avoid the divorce affecting the family, the impact unavoidably spread. Now Downton Abbey's become a place others avoid. Cora won't just accept this. She'll repair the family's local social ties. She plans to host parties, invite friends over to counter the divorce's negative impact. Cora believes with her daughter's character and family's integrity. The estate will welcome guests again. Repairing relationships might be hard, but must be done, because Mary's already the family's de facto leader's successor. Robert had long decided she'd inherit. These years, Mary's handled most family matters. She's already the family's image spokesperson for the family's long-term interests. She must rebuild her reputation after the divorce. Time hasn't changed the family's succession plan. Robert still firmly supports Mary. Besides him, the family also faces personnel changes and transitions. Not just Robert's family, many employees are lifelong employees. They're now old, passing tasks to younger staff. The estate's head butler, Carson's retiring. Young butler Andy's replacing him. Cook Patmore's handing over to maid Daisy. Andy and Daisy, from humble backgrounds, climbed from the lowest positions. Working together, during their daily contact, they became a couple. As grassroots youngsters, many of Andy and Daisy's ideas differ greatly from old aristocrats. Previously, they'd be hard to promote. But today's world is in a rapidly changing era. The family's willing to accept change and employ new blood. Change is necessary for survival. Back in London, Mary met old friend Harold. Though Harold's a core family member, he's lived in America for years. This visit's to discuss Robert's mother's inheritance. This time, he's brought an American named Gus. Gus is a US financial figure, an active figure. He's been Harold's investment advisor for years. Mary eyed Gus, feeling suspicious. Gus seemed to hide something, exuding mystery, but his polite, proper manner still impressed Mary. After brief pleasantries, Harold left for a banquet. Gus stayed at the house with Mary, chatting till late. Mary's usually reserved. Won't chat deeply with strangers, but Gus seemed to understand women's thoughts. He saw Mary's hidden bitterness and worries, eager to offer fitting comfort. Mary, while drinking and chatting with Gus, she got a bit drunk. The maid sensed an ambiguous atmosphere, wanted to warn Mary, but she ignored her. Long-term repression left Mary overwhelmed. She longed for total indulgence. Gus seized his chance, gradually drew close. After a night of passion, a dizzy Mary woke in the morning. Though she deeply regretted her impulsive act, she also savored it. That afternoon, Mary and Harold's convoy returned to the estate. Cora and her brother hadn't met for years. This reunion was joyful. However, under the warm atmosphere, undercurrents still stirred. Cora grew up with Harold. She saw what was on his mind, and it was mostly bad news. She subtly spoke to Harold. Then she privately asked him to chat. The result was an unexpected bad news. Harold's been investing with Gus for years. Lost Robert's mother's generous inheritance almost entirely. He also owed Gus a large sum. Hearing this, Cora felt a wave of dizziness. She decisively rejected Harold's deluded plan to invest more and win it back. The family's money's almost gone. She'll protect what's left. Then she brought Harold before the family and announced this news. The family's sudden financial crisis shocked everyone. Though this time saw bad news after bad news, but Mary quickly faced reality. To help the family through this current crisis, she proposed a bold idea: sell Grantham House in London. Hearing this news, Robert was instantly furious. Usually calm, he flared up uncontrollably. Everyone just kept silent. Robert acted so abnormally, partly because the main house held such significance for him. Another reason was the family's recent misfortunes were too many: mother's death, Mary's divorce, inheritance loss. Every issue's a heavy test for this old family. Downton's future was again precarious. The family's third son-in-law, Tom, rushed back to Downton. Tom once married the family's youngest daughter. Sadly, she later died of illness. Tom, though sad, many years later, remarried. The family didn't blame Tom. Instead, they respected his choice. Logically, Tom was an outsider. But when the dowager died, she still gave Tom part of her inheritance. It's for his. It helped his career. Tom's grateful for the family's care, so hearing the family had trouble this time, he rushed back. Lady Edith greeted him before dinner, hoping he'd help comfort Robert. Tom agreed to Edith's request, but at dinner, new variables arose. Harold hadn't given up. He again proposed investing the family's remaining assets. This time, Gus also stood up, saying, with his investment experience, he'd earn back principal and interest. Though the economic crisis hadn't yet passed, but to be greedy when others fear is wisdom. Though Gus spoke eloquently, still, their collaboration was too obvious, plus past investment failures. Family members weren't optimistic. Seeing no support, Gus turned to Lady Mary. Mary, what do you think? I think Mary knows what she's doing. I'll trust her judgment. Though she somewhat liked Gus, Mary wasn't swayed by sentiment. At the critical moment, she still firmly upheld family interests. Gus wouldn't give up. He approached Mary again after dinner and rudely reiterated his demands. He threatened Mary, if she wouldn't help, he'd expose their first night together. Gus underestimated Mary and the family's cohesion. Seeing no gains, the next day he went to the racetrack without this outsider present. Family members finally discussed formal issues. They and other family members hinted at Robert's family. His family's in trouble. They tried to stop Mary from taking over. Robert was annoyed by this attempt to force. Public pressure annoyed him. He forcefully rebutted those who spoke. The conversation fell into stalemate. At this awkward moment, Cora spoke up. Cora's words calmed the hot-headed Robert. They're all family, regardless of disagreements. All have this family's best interests. Later in the conversation, Tom offered to sell his company and donate all income to the family. Robert was moved, but he refused Tom's offer. That night, talking with Cora, he mentioned this. He expressed new thoughts. Now they must sell Grantham House. As for Robert's reluctance to hand over power, Cora saw through her husband's state of mind. Cora hit on Robert's thoughts. He still yearned for authority, but a more crucial point was, as a father, he's still worried about Mary's plight. Mary, due to her divorce, is still deeply trapped. The family's financial crisis just hit. When it rains, it pours. So many burdens pressing down. Can she handle it? After much thought, Robert remained undecided. At a critical moment, he decided to consult an old friend. Carson's been the family's butler his whole life. They'd known each other since youth. Though he's now semi-retired, no one knows the estate's operations better. He's clear. Robert specially visited Carson, Facing Robert's questions, Carson, full of respect, but gave a certain answer: Mary can handle all of this. Carson's words stunned Robert, but he felt much relieved. One day, a race at Ascot's race course was about to begin. Downton family members all went to watch the race. During the race, Tom brought important news. He'd privately investigated Gus's identity. They found he's a notorious U.S. financial fraudster, almost caught, jailed but barely escaped sanctions. After U.S. disgrace, he eyed foreign wealth. Fat targets. Harold's his mark. The lost market money was his setup. Gus's scheme. All Harold's losses went to Gus. After his first win, he wasn't done. He wanted to drain family assets. So he approached Mary. Confirmed this news. Edith decided to teach this scoundrel a lesson. No pleasantries, she cut straight to it. To the point: I know you're a fraud. I won't deal with it now. But if you play those clever tricks, then this is what you'll face. My mother, my uncle, my sister. You can't touch me. Will you? Will you? Will you? Faced with Edith's presence, Gus was speechless. Edith mocked him, saying focus on the race, it's his only wager. Unluckily, Gus's horse performed poorly today. Got no rank. The arrogant swindler just slinked away. After the race, Mary showed Robert the new apartment. Grantham planned an auction, Robert's ready to move here with Cora for retirement. The estate's Mary's. Robert's lived in grand houses, wasn't used to apartments, but he's ready for change. He turned to Mary for his final entrustment. I know you think I've held you back. I encouraged you to take control. It's hard to accept leaving this soon, but I really should leave. Robert rejected ruling from behind. Women's resentment over power transfer vanished. Returning to the estate, family told Harold Gus's truth. Harold got vexed, lamenting he was truly the biggest fool. Mary comforted Harold, don't fret. He wasn't the only one fooled. Gus's matters resolved. Edith told Mary her other plan. She'd host another dinner, inviting local gentry to mend Mary's social ties. Mary just smiled bitterly. She knew her reputation. Before, no one came to their invites. This time, she feared it wouldn't be different. But Edith made special arrangements. She used connections for Hollywood stars for the estate dinner. With star power, it won't be dull. Edith found Hollywood big names was due to a unique network. The butler's successor wasn't Andy, but a young man, Barrow. He'd worked the estate years, did well, even risen to manager, but after meeting Hollywood's Gale, he chose to go with him to America. Now he's Gale's assistant. Though Barrow left, he's grateful to Downton for their care. So when he heard Mary was in trouble, he chose to help, joining Gale at the dinner. With them, America's foremost playwright, Noel. Their arrival made Downton vibrant. This huge event brought many friends who'd been watching the event. Many wanted to mend ties with Mary, seizing this chance to save the day. As guests buzzed, Robert stood, thanked them, then announced his plans. She's taking over. Everyone stood, offering blessings. Power transfer was complete. Though anxious and hesitant, Robert calmly handed over power. After dinner, Mary invited Barrow upstairs to talk. Barrow was surprised. Though now a guest, he'd been Downton's butler, so some habits remained. When hosts entertained, servants weren't allowed at table. Seeing Barrow still hesitant, everyone urged him not to worry. Mary had her reasons. Times have changed, many things. Don't need old ways. Old class divisions aren't as important now. When Barrow went upstairs, family warmly welcomed him. Noel and Gail did an impromptu act. This performance brought down the house. The dinner atmosphere peaked. That tranquil, vibrant Downton finally returned. Next day, Robert packed up to leave Downton. Looking back, he felt lonely, but mostly profound fulfillment. In his youth, he fought World War I, almost died, saved by a friend. Now, to stand here, enjoying old age, was fortunate. He didn't waste this hard-won life, contributing his first half life to Downton. Now he still has the rest to share with his beloved. Robert and Cora walked hand in hand toward the distant sunset. Robert's left. Guests left. The estate, once full of laughter, now seemed empty. Seeing the familiar yet strange scene, Mary felt a bit of a sense of unreality. But past beauty and liveliness were vivid. Some left. Some had passed, but all spent their best years here. Mary, as always, committed. But she'll continue to dedicate her life here, guarding this place of family history and memories. Family legacy's tough to pass on. It's tough. Downton Abbey, A New Era by Simon Curtis, 2022, is a series spin-off film, the series' last. As its final chapter, A New Era is set in the 1930s. Set in the 1930s, Julian Fellowes' narrative perfectly concludes this 15-year saga. The film continues classic English style, exploring tradition versus change in time's currents. Eternal theme. From series start to end, this theme appears as a country promoting change without bloodshed. Britain avoided violent revolution, moving toward modernization. This related to their ruling class keeping pace, embracing change. In great social change, adaptability is crucial. The Downton Abbey series occurs between World War I and World War II. This was a time of drastic global change. Traditional aristocracy was severely impacted. Amidst change and crises, Downton Abbey, facing challenges, was Britain's microcosm. The film isn't nostalgic for past glory, but gently yet powerfully showed aristocracy's transformation in new era. From privilege to responsibility, from defending to pioneering. In Downton's three-generation succession, new changes and crises always existed, but Downton always faced them open-mindedly. This allowed the estate, though not its former glory, to continue safely. Society's progress key lies in old-new transition. Inevitably, this brings conflicts between old and new generations' ideas. Downton controlled this conflict within a range linked to its leaders' open minds. Neither Violet nor Robert. Neither stuck to old concepts, nor clung to power-blocking change. This responsible attitude ensures a family, even a nation, can steadily progress. Downton Abbey, A New Era is an elegant, admirable work, a song of heritage, responsibility, and hope. It makes us believe that though times change, some spirits will never disappear with time. That's all for today's commentary. If you liked it, remember to follow, like, and comment. We'll see you next time. Subs by Selenia.